So who introduced you to Tantra?
I will have to actually think about it as to where did I first hear this word and what was my first impression of, how I understood Tantra. I'm also a very Western guy, Ranveer, all right? And I have had very Western influences in my life also. So at one point of time, I think Tantra was something which usually the world knows as. You see how. But this is just one M of the 5 M's in Tantra, right? Kashmiri Shaivism, which unfortunately is called Kashmiri Shaivism even right now when I'm talking to you, it's called Trika.
Trika.
Trika, it's Trika.
That's the actual name.
That's the real name of the philosophy itself.
What people reference to as Kashmiri Shaivism.
Shaivism.
Got it.
Kashmir actually had a lot to contribute towards this particular philosophy in itself, but it is not Kashmiri. It would be very unjust to the philosophy itself to tag it Kashmiri. The original word by all the masters, they have used Trika. Sometimes I've also read and been told by my Guruji also that Mahacharya Abhinav Gupta himself termed it as Param Advaita, which is, the Para, the Param Advaita. That is how they would want to look at the philosophy.
I think Abhinav Gupta has been spoken about on the show earlier by an archaeologist called Anika Man. And because of the name Abhinav Gupta, I thought it's someone who's probably like around our age.
Yes.
But I then got to know that it's someone from medieval India.
It's a little unfortunate that in current times India, we hear and study a little less when it comes to Abhinav Gupta. The kind of work that he has done in terms of compiling all those ancient wisdom into books, many books, is phenomenal. Yeah, you may as well need 3, 4, 5, 6 different podcasts for just covering the contribution of this person.
Okay. And he was a practicer of Trika.
Yes.
We're going to open up this topic of Trika now.
Sure.
I would request you, if it's okay with you, some kind of mantra jap before we begin, whatever you're allowed to, just so that we ensure it's not you and me speaking.
Aghorebhyo, ataghorebhyo, ghora ghora tarebhyo, sarvatha sarva sarvebhyo, namaste astu rudra rupebhya, om namah shivaya, Adesh.
Okay. Now that we're joined here by our brothers.
By the same cosmic force, Ranveer. Same cosmic energy. Is doing the listening, is doing the asking, is also doing my part.
Okay. Why don't we begin by how it was introduced to you the first time?
Interesting. So, last October or September, I'm in Kashmir. So, there is this place in central Kashmir Valley called Birwa. All right. This is a distortion from the word Bhairava. Okay. So, and it's a very famous place, by the way. You can Google it, Birwa. It's called Berwah right now. And there is an ancient cave in one of these hillocks in that sub-district. As per the legends, Abhinav Gupta goes inside this particular cave, which I have been unfortunate that it is in this particular condition in the current times. But I was very privileged, I can say, that I went to this particular cave at least more than 3 or 4 times. Was again privileged and blessed to sit down there and do some tapas, some sadhana, some tap. So I am there in Kashmir, and this was the first time I stayed for over a month in the valley. And then we had many interactions with a lot of different people, different categories of people, different layers of societies. And I'm like, I have been to this particular place at least 2 or 3 times, and I am not happy with the way this whole facade is going around. There's a butcher house right in front of this particular divine gufa, which is supposed to be a kshetra, a Bhairava kshetra. And then there are waste management systems right in the rear of this particular cave. So there's a lot of unfortunate events which are just happening right at that particular place. And we are doing a recce, we're trying to find out what else could have been there, because now this is a very different age, time and place. 1200 years before, that place would have been very different. The time would have been very different. Demography wouldn't have been the same right now. And all in all, I think about 300, 400 AD, all the way until almost 1300 to 1400 AD. Kashmir basically was the land of Bhairava, is still the land of Bhairava. Unfortunately, there's a lot of energies which are khandit.
Khandit means?
If you know, disintegrated. It's not the way it should be, like. Because of many other factors. Sometimes the Vigraha itself has been broken down in many pieces. Sometimes the temple. Sometimes, and there are places that I've been myself and I've felt wailing and crying of a lot of people, as if there was a massacre, huge massacre there. There are a lot of places in Kashmir. Hurts, but well, that is how it is. So anyway, so we're talking about this Bhairava cave. So we were actually meeting a lot of people, and that is how one fine day I'm sitting in one particular temple, which is one of my favorite temples in Srinagar. And I happened to meet one of my Gurujis, who I think in the first time that we saw each other, I don't know if this would be right to say, but love at first sight.
Yeah.
You know, an imprint.
Guru Shishya love.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's okay.
If there is a right word or right
Don't
way
mind.
to.
Like, the listeners are evolved at this point, so people are keeping up with what
Yeah,
you're
I'm
saying.
sure Bhagwati is working out her magic that way, but I really don't have correct words to. And it was like I was almost stunned for a few seconds. So that is how my first interaction or understanding of what Trika is itself, the deeper philosophy, the 36 tattvas, this, that, etc. I mean, I was jaw dropped. We were, most of us, you and I, or 90% of the people who follow some or the other Sanatan philosophies, they are mostly Vedantic, bhakti oriented. Jai Shri Ram, I always say. But the sort of nuances that Param Advaita or Trika has, it's blinding. It's a different level.
And you need a guru to guide you through it, of course.
Got to.